Going to remove the bottom, and it's held on by roofing nails. Now luckily for me, I have a roofing nail gun. Tick, 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 tick. For you, you're going to have to hand pull it, pull all the nails out, or even leave the nails in and try to put them back in the same holes. I don't know about that working, but for right now, I've got to pull it out, and there's also some wood damage around it that I'm going to repair as well. So let's get after it. Stay tuned. So what I use is just a standard nail puller, and you can start wherever you want to start, it doesn't really matter, and just slowly start pulling the nails. And you could even, if you wanted to, of course they're all in there. It's easier to get the nails out, I found, with a pair of pliers with this off of there. But all you're going to do is just go around and slowly pull each nail just a little bit. Some of them are going to be stuck and going to pull through the ABS, but nevertheless, we've got to get them all out. So I'm going to replace the wood on the bottom of this tub, but what I want you to see is this piece of wood right here is stationary. So it is actually under this piece of wood. So you can see the back of it right there. So this piece of wood was added to the top of that piece. I'm zoom way in so I couldn't tell where I was at. So what I'm going to do is measure this piece of wood so we can see what we need to cut, but I'm going to do it on the side here because this is a good reference point. Let's see right here, if you tuck it in right there, it's exactly 1.5 inches. And then if you go widthwise, it's exactly 1.5. So this piece of wood is 1.5 by 1.5. So I'm going to set my table saw, and that piece is cut out of 1.5 by 1.5. These middle ones seem to be pretty intact, so we're going to change most of the ones around the edge. This one down here is in really rough shape. So the ones I'm going to replace are that one, this one, that one, this one, and the little corner pieces. So we're going to cut them now. I set my table saw. It is 1.5 inches between here and there. If you look at the measuring tape to the left side of the blade, which is the side we're going to cut on. And so let's cut some pieces out. Stay tuned. So friends, what I'm doing now is removing these pieces of wood right here, and I know you can barely see me, but what I do is drive this behind the piece of wood and then very easily start pulling the wood out, and then start working your way down like this. And then once I get a lot of it out, I'll start knocking it that way to break it loose here. Or you can take a recip saw and whack these few little connections. A lot of them have staples this way. But I'm taking both of these out. The one on the top, I'm starting them out. And it takes just a little bit of effort to get them started. But once you get them started, it's really not that big a deal. And they have a few nails in them, but the nails are actually here. They're going that way. From the bottom, they put it up, went boop, boop, boop. The same thing that we're going to do as we go around. So I'm not going to make you watch this, but I'm going to slowly take these off. When I say that, I may leave the camera on, and we'll see how long it takes me to get one of them off. I'll try to pull this one right here off. Stay tuned. Tapping this in and just slowly easing it out. What you're to do is disturb any of this wood because I want to reuse that. I'm only replacing the outer edge of this. And you see we're just about to the point where this is going to actually twist off anyway. And so you just do that. Keep on going. Right there, you see I pulled it out and those staples stayed. We're going to come here. And there it is. Now it left some nails in here. You see this nail pulled through, that one pulled through, these staples stayed. So I'm going to clean all this up with pliers and just cut the stuff off and get it prepped. But I'm going to go ahead and take them all off, prep the whole thing where when I start nailing back on, it's just stick it up there, boop, 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 and I'm done. I clean the bottom up, get all the nails out of it, and the same thing, hold it up there and go boop, 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 and it's done. There you go. I'll show you when it's at another stage. All right, so we're going to deal with a couple of these things. You've got this nail here, and you've got these staples that are right there. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could do it. I have several different types of pliers. I got this, I got side cutters, and then I've got these end cutters. These end cutters work really good for this kind of stuff right here, but this nail may come out. So see, I was able to just use these end cutters and actually pull the nail out, but you can see how rusty it is. And then you could take this and clip these off. The biggest thing is you want all this stuff gone and clean, so when you put the new wood up, everything pulls up tight. And you can also, you nail this way, but you also nail this way through these. And so just cleaning all these staples and stuff up is the simple thing to do to get it done. There you go. All right, so I've got it all cleaned off. You can see that this is still here. And if you notice, there's a seam right here and there's one right there. And the wood that you cut goes to the end of this seam right here. So basically on this particular tub, that piece of wood is 79 inches. So the wood that I cut is 79. Now I'm also going to do one more other thing to keep it uniform. And that other thing is the cut edge of this wood is there. So I'm going to let the cut edge be on the inside. So I'm going to let the factory sides be to the tub, out, and then, or down, bottom, and then out. So what I'm going to do is hold this up like this right here, line it up, top and bottom with those seams. Make sure that it's tight up against the tub, back and forth, and tight side to side. And then, of course, you don't have to use an air nailer. I'm using air, but just pop a nail in it, and that's going to put it where it needs to be. That's going to keep it uniform. Put my other ones in before I do my corners so I can center them up. I know that thing is loud. But on these, I'm going to do these first, but the corners here, I'm going to wait until I get my other piece on so I can center it Make sure it's even and then pop the nails in. And you can also here even go this direction. All right, same thing. We want to go with the cut edge here. So the other edges are exactly the same. The actual work part of this, putting it back together, doesn't take long. What takes a while is the prep work. Getting everything ready. All the old stuff off, the old nails off, that kind of stuff. But stapling this back on literally takes just moments. Minutes. All right. So the last thing I got to do is cut these corners. Stay tuned. All right, so what I do in this case is I'll take and I'll cut one side. Now this one I've already cut, but I want to show you how I did it. So I cut one side of it a 45 and I put it up here and hold it out here and then go behind it and make a mark like that right there, and then it gives you a reference point to cut. And each one of these four is going to be a little bit different, I've found. So you're going to have to, you can't cut four identical ones. I checked this against the other side and they're about exactly the same as far as this side. When we get down to the other end, they're not the same. So I'm going to go ahead and staple these two in. I've cut two identical and then we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Corners I nailed here, there, and then in like that. They're very stout. So the only thing I have left is I've got to put this piece in and nail it. But what I wanted to show you was now you've got to paint it. So what I use is a cheap spray paint. We used to use brush paint, but we found the spray paint to be a lot better. You can buy these at Walmart for 96 cents a can. Very inexpensive, and it works perfect to spray that, but of course use some breathing protection when you do it. So there's a chore ahead, and that chore is on the bottom that I took off of that tub. You got all these roofing nails. So you're going to have to go through and pull every one of these roofing nails out one by one to get this thing cleaned up. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but it's got to be done. It just takes a few minutes, but I'm not going to bore you with this. Turn the camera off and get it done, and then we'll staple the bottom on. And because the tub could still theoretically leak, I'm not going to staple the thing on like they did. I'm not going to put quite as many nails in it. I'll put it on the test stand, fill it up, make sure it runs, and then I will, once I know there's no leaks and everything, I'll stand it back up and finish stapling. Yeah, that should be right there. So, worst case, we could pivot off of that. But see, now I'm way over here. Where are you at there?
Right here, I'm right at the edge of the board right here.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm right smack dab against it. So this one, no leak.
Nope. She's great. This thing's sticking over an inch. Out of nails. But you get the idea.